Okay, so I wanted to capture. I wanted to talk about, like, play FF8 for a little bit and talk about a pretty specific thing, which is FF8's early game. About the first, I don't know, few hours. The thing about... There's a bunch of things about FF8's early game I want to talk about, but there's one very specific thing, and that's kind of the way that all of its systems interact at the start of the game. Is really, really, really weird. And I want to talk about that. So the first thing so to start with, I had started up the game. I went to the save point. This isn't like a comprehensive walkthrough or something or anything like that. It's just a very specific, well, not that specific, but it's a design thing about how FF8 systems interact with each other. I'm playing the game. One constraint about this is I want to play the game relatively normally, right? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and then try and min-max the game and then say, like, hey, and then say, hey, the game is completely imbalanced as a result of me min-maxing the game. That's not how I'm going to do this, and it's not how Final Fantasy games work. Like, of course it's going to break when you go and deliberately break it. But what I am going to do is I am going to engage with the game's systems to enough of a degree to show the thing that I'm talking about. And my thesis is that that the game is broken both if you don't engage with the game systems and if you do. If you just play the game like a normal Final Fantasy game, it's broken in the sense that it's not really fun to play the game that way. And if you play it like... if you play it like Final Fantasy VIII, it also kind of stops working in a way that a normal RPG would work. And we're gonna see that by the end of this. I hope to prove out that thesis by the end of this. I just want to, so they told us to go look at this screen. So I'm just going to quickly go through the battle tutorial here. You'll see it's explaining some really, really, really basic RPG stuff in here. Like, extremely basic RPG stuff in here. Except... summoning a GF shows the HP total. I don't need to explain, like, hardcore this stuff to our hardcore RPG players, but it does tell you, like, some stuff about how the game works in here. And Quistis does tell you to look at your console before the game starts or whatever. So that's useful that it's there. I can walk through this GF junction. I am not going to do that right now because Quistis is going to do it again later. But, like, the fact that she told me to go over here and look at this tutorial, and then she's going to tutorialize again later, is kind of an issue. I mean, granted, people did get super confused about stuff, but it is very, very, very much a problem that we're, like, running the same tutorialization multiple times. But yeah, like, all this stuff is here. So we don't, like, if she's gonna tell us to go look at this, go look at the, FF8pedia. I'm not gonna go through all of it, because it's boring as fuck. I am done. Please and thanks. But one of the other reasons she wanted us to go and do this is so we could register our GFs at the console. Sorry, I'm playing on keyboard, and I'm not used to playing on keyboard, so I'm, it's weird. Can I junction my, I'd have to junction my GFs from a different menu. So this is gonna be me weirdly fumbling with this. GF, I'm gonna junction Quetzalcoatl and Shiva right now, or no, we'll just leave Quetzalcoatl, because when we get Questus, we're gonna Shiva up, and then I can use Magic, GF, and draw, or I'm gonna use Magic, item, draw item. Sure, using the GF gets us somewhere at some point. That's not fair. Ifrit's weak to ice, so casting Shiva in that situation is a good idea. So right now, the game is just it's going to be normal for the next, I don't know, hour of play or so. Just because there aren't any tools for you to use at the start of the game. But pretty quickly, it's going to... No, you're not. Pretty quickly, that's going to change. A bunch of stuff in Garden I could go check out. There's a bunch of draw points in Garden I could go check out. I'm not going to look at any of that. So right now, at the start of the game, before I do anything, I have 2 GFs and $5,000 in money, and that's going to be kind of important in a minute. Not in a minute. It's going to be important in a bit. There is a draw point. We are going to use it to draw stuff from that point. Not a huge deal, but... Oops. Gets us some cure spells. And Questus is over here. Right. So she tells us how to junction a GF. This was the same thing we were seeing in the online help thing over at the console, and it's the same thing we're going to see again in... we would see later if we checked out the tutorial section of the menu. GF must be junctions in order to power up and use abilities. Let's begin by junctioning a GF. Right now, no GF is junctioned. Other commands and parade cannot be selected yet. Junction is selected. Again, it's not, like, different from the like how they explain the materia system in FF7. It's actually maybe a little bit better than that, but it's still not good. It's still, like... Notably, the translation of this is a little bit screwy, too. It's not that bad, but... It's not that bad, but it's not great. Like, she should be saying there are 3 command ability slots and 2 non-command ability slots. But it's, like, she clarifies here, a total of 5 abilities can be set. So it doesn't really, like, matter. But it's not the biggest deal. I wonder if we actually have that match plus 20. I don't think so. But even the way this is moving through this is a little bit weird. It's a little bit slow for what it is. And super deliberate about what's going on. Which is, like, fine for teaching, but really bad for the fact that it was explained like this. Ugh. They don't do better than this when you get to, like, FF9 either, which is annoying. Man, draw and stock magic. Be sure you have some stock ready to go. The fire cavern is a test located east from here. And we're going to go to the menu. Junction. A GF to Quistis. Unlike in that demonstration, we don't have Ifrit yet. That's why we're going to the fire cavern. I did not junction here. And I'm going to give her magic GF because she has Shiva, and we're going to need to cast that against the thing. And draw. And both have draw. Fine. What items do I have right now? Actually, two things I want to check out. So there's 5 tents in the inventory, like, immediately. Like, before we do anything. That's also going to be kind of important, but we're going to leave that as to the side for a second. And then... GF ability... Okay, so the other thing I want to look at is... We're not going to go super deep into what's going on here. I just want to see if... So Mag J is Magic Junction? Junction is Magic to Magic, right. So you can junction spells to your magic stat out of the gate. Okay, that's good to know. And then we have Hard, Boost, and T-Mag Refine. So normally the way that you would break stuff is you would, like, learn card and then start turning enemies into cards and then, like, trying to refine your stuff into that, trying to refine your cards into card mag refine or whatever after learning card or whatever, right? And then you break the game that way. And that's the thing that people... We're not doing any of that. And we're still going to end up busting the game open. Instead, we're just going to actually... Yeah, we're just going to do this. Actually, are we? Do I care about... Yeah, we're just going to do this. Now, what I could do is I could just wait until the game teaches me about learning GF abilities, but I don't want to, like, eat too much time. I guess I could wait. I don't really see, like, why I would... Let me get this cursor out of the way. That would be a little bit more natural, but also I'm saying, like, I want to, like, engage with the game systems, and teaching GF's abilities is engaging with the game systems. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to bop off onto the world map. Now what we're going to do here... What are the rotation? Is it QE? Okay, first let's save on the world. Give me my keyboard controls from here. Oh, it's mapping to the controller, and then that's mapping to... Okay, that's not gonna work. What are my rotation controls? Not Q and E. It's not... Oop! I is not what I wanted. That pauses. So F changes POV. Oh, is it? That's not even it. Okay, H and G rotate the map. Right, okay. It did tell me in the tutorial, I just forgot. That's my fault. In the like at the console, it told me something about H and G rotating the map. I just had completely. All right. Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna run into a couple of fights out here. Not that many. Just enough to like talk about the basic, the way the game works when nothing else is going on. So, up against a couple of, are these bugbears? Choose a trigger, Polarity Strike. Same for Wrench Kick. Okay. Because I don't remember how any of the... how any of my keys are mapped, I'm not going to do that. So this is going to be a little bit more painful than it normally is. But note that, I'm just going to stock this. It's fire scan for these guys. Yeah, fire scan. Okay. I am not going to sit here and pull fire and scan from these guys. That's not happening. We're not doing that. Yes, I know it's more efficient if I, like, equip 100 fires or whatever, and then 100 whatever to my stats and do shit like that. We're not doing that. We're only fighting a few fights. So remember, I picked up a stone piece when I fought these things. That's going to be relevant. This is what I mean. Like, we're not min-maxing any of this. We're not going to sit here and then try our hardest to, like, do the maximum amount we can. But we're still going to end up breaking the game in a pretty substantial way, not that long after we've started it. And it's going to be pretty sudden when it happens. And pretty drastic when it happens. And it's not, I'm not going to do the thing, we're not even going to do the thing where we, like, buy a bunch of tents from the thing. Because we don't need to, we have 5 tents in our inventory. But also, like, that we're basically never going to use. Because the game just isn't hard enough for you to need to do that. But then also, like, you don't need to because you get there easy enough by just playing the game kind of normally. Okay. But the other thing to notice is how long it's taking for us to beat these enemies. Now, I'm making it a little bit worse here because I'm not using Renjikaken's, like, auto crit thing. But I would only be getting, I think it's like 70 damage out of these hits if I did do it. So the big caterpillar thing would take a long time to beat anyway. Fire would be good. So I guess I could draw from these things and then use it. But these enemies are a little bit padded, like, even to start with, before we've done anything else. But when you're using the draw system like this, it's kind of fine in that you're going to just pull, like, I don't know if there's, I guess I'm going to find out whether there's blizzard spells somewhere. I don't know where it would be. It's not the ice, it's not the bugs. It's not the, just leveled up kind of out of nowhere. There's a spider piece, a spider web. So I'm gonna go to the beach. I'm gonna run along the beach. Actually, first we're gonna go to the menu and do the normal. Stone with a little magic power. That's also kind of important because, well, this is the ice magifying thing, so we can get water or ice magic from the stone that has a little bit of magic power, which we just picked up randomly for beating an enemy, right? That pattern is gonna come up later. Because it means we're just randomly picking up magic when we beat enemies. Okay. So, also, this is where we get blizzard and water. Okay. Oh, no, you don't get water from this. I wonder if you get water. That's something to think about later. I think these enemies are annoying to fight on some level. I guess I could probably GF them out, right? Okay, so Squall's gonna do this. I'm gonna cast Shiva here. Just doing normal player things, right? Just engaging with all the game systems. Right, we're drawing occasionally. We're casting GFs occasionally. We haven't cast any magic yet. But we're not casting any magic because we're engaging the typical, like, kind of, like, I want to store my items mentality that players usually have. So not worry about that. We haven't healed once. That's the other thing, is like everything feels really padded. Like I think FF7 operates at a faster pace than this in general, but I think also the padding of the enemies, like the first enemy you run into in FF7 dies in pretty much one hit. I think it takes literally one hit. And then the second enemy you run into in Final Fantasy VII is the same way, because it's the first Shinra soldier pair, and then it's the dog with the weird tentacle thing on it, and then the it's only when you run into the weird smokestack guys that you have I think is when you have enemies that take longer to kill. But this is extreme. Like, of course, again, I'm not using Renzukaken, but I'd only be getting at most double the damage out of Renzukaken if I used it at that point. Oh, the fish's fin, right. The fish's fin is how you get extra thing. So just from that, we have a little bit of play here. So I want to look at my menu again real quick. I want to go to GF. And I want to look at 14 of 30 and yeah, okay. So we just leveled up in pretty short order. I don't remember how hard the Ifrit fight is. I do remember, like, cutting it close in that fight a couple of times. I'm going to fight a few more times against these things, just so that I have enough AP to start refining stuff. I'm not doing a ton of this. But if, like, a new player, you know, fights a couple of fights and then immediately gets into immediately gets a level, like, it was, like, less than 5 fights, immediately gets a level, then they're gonna want to fight a few more fights and see if they get another level, right? Without doing the math. Well, they might want to do they might do the math, or they might not. But also, in the thing of engaging with the game systems, I want to pick up the first ability here. Right after that, I'm going to leave... I'm going to leave it, mostly, to the auto-learn thing for a while. But yeah, this is without using card Mad Refine and not using, like, stuff like that. It's already a little weird. I might be able to do the junction some magic to the strength. I don't remember if GFs do damage based off of the magic stat either. Or off of something else. Probably. Get more fish fins. Get more AP. Also, like, I'm gonna, like, keep throwing caveats in here to, like, the thing that I'm doing. It's not necessarily guaranteed that a new player would know that this beach is, like, a particularly good place. I'm not doing any of that. We'll pass fire. That's so bad. That's so much... Like, that's the other part of the problem, right? Fire did 70... not 70... 28 damage there. And I think, actually, these guys might just resist fire while they're buried in sand. That would make some kind of logical sense. But it's also, like, not great that casting the spell does 28 damage from, like, a signaling for signaling reasons. That casting a spell does 28 damage and then, like, actually hitting them does so much more. Like, it signals that, oh, magic is that bad, huh? I guess magic's really bad in this game, right? Now, again, I'm going to try it again later, and it's probably going to work out, but, you know. This is also the enemy against which you would draw blizzard spells, right? I don't know that there's another enemy where you can do it here, because it's, I don't know that there's another enemy where you can... Receiving 2 is bad. A little rough. I don't know that there's another enemy in this area where you can do it. So it's kind of, sort of expected that you do it if you're going to go to the Fire Cavern, right? But on the other hand, I don't know, like, this beach strip is pretty small, so it might not be the case that, like, a newer player would run into this. So I'm probably would run into the enemies on this beach when trying to figure out, oh, how much do I have to level up in order to do anything, or whatever. So yeah, it's this, I don't know if I've already said that. It's this push and pull. But I'm trying my best to just not do anything crazy. While also... So we're picking up cards. We don't have to turn enemies into cards in order to get cards. We're just going to get cards. Right? So that's the other part of what's weird here. Is, like... We're just kind of automatically... Okay, we only have the one card right now. Yeah, we're just kind of automatically picking up the things like that. I'm gonna save here, and I think we have a couple of potions. Yeah, looks good. And we have 10 fish fins, which is kind of an important number. So, rotate my camera with H and G. Why is it so dark out here? What happened? That just the graphic settings I have for the game, or did it dim it, or what is going on? It is gloomy day on Balam Island. It's kind of crazy. Cursor snuck back onto the screen. Okay. So I see no reason to draw more scans or draw more anything from these guys. They have fire spells. I don't really care. I can get fire spells later from the enemies in the fire cavern if I really want to, and if I'm sane, I will not want to. But we're going to head to the fire cavern right now, because we're only 4 away from picking up the thing anyway on AP. So we'll just grab our thing, pick up our M-stone pieces. Again, those can be refined. Then we go here, and then I'm going to go G. Rotate this and go this way. Man, it feels really weird playing this on keyboard. I have to think through every single... You're just gonna... I know there's also a T-Rexor in the forest somewhere. I think the encounter rate for that is extremely low. Or, like, not extremely low, but kind of low. This is kind of irritating, because this is only worth 1 AP, I think. But yeah, killing even just this one thing takes a weirdly long time. Like, 2 rounds of combat? I don't know, man. And in Final Fantasy VII, it was like 1 attack for the first enemy you would run into here. Yeah, 1 AP is a little bit annoying. 1 more. And I'm not trying to grind levels, because I know that levels don't do anything. And I'm not trying to grind for items, really. I just want the AP so I can get the first ability in that thing. Because... And I think it's kind of reasonable to pick up whatever the first ability you would pick up is. Although, I can like, hear arguments that, like... You wouldn't touch this particular system of, like, learning GF abilities immediately, necessarily. But if we looked at there's a couple of things. Like, if we looked at the tutorial thing, the way the game told us to in the Balam Garden, at the is it terminal, desktop terminal, whatever. We looked at that. that would have told us how, like, GF ability learning worked. Couldn't find any items. 2 AP, and that gets us Thunder and Ice Petrify. Now, at this point, we're not touching any of that anymore. At this point, we're not touching any of that anymore. What we are going to do... I don't remember how to... Oh, ability. Okay, here we go. So that's there now. So now we go to Ice. Now we go to Fish Fin. 20 Waters? Like, Water is already more powerful of a spell than Ice or the other thing. And we have 10 Fish Fins, which means we just get to make... We just get to max out. Like, completely max out on those. And then... We don't need Thunder. So we're just gonna do... I like saving a lot. Okay. Let's go into the ice cavern. Oh, hang on. I should do... No, Quist is going to teach us about it, and then we're going to do something after that. Junctioning Magic. By junctioning Magic, you can raise the character's stats. The GF has learned the ability. Junction onto stats, that particular stat will be displayed in white. By selecting Junction here, the GF and Magic commands will appear. You are able to junction Magic by selecting Magic. When Magic is selected, a list of Magic appears. Use the cursor to select which stat to junction. Keeping in mind, I don't think... I guess I'd have to look, but when Strength is selected, choose a Magic with the cursor. You can see how the stat value changes with each Magic. Yeah, sure. 17, 18, 19. Magic is selected. Magic will be displayed next to the stat, and the value will change. Only one Magic can be assigned to each stat. However, there's no need to junction Magic manually one by one. Select Auto after junctioning. Auto junction is Magic automatic. 3 commands to choose from. Attack favors Strength, Magic favors Magic, and Defense favors raising HP. Less Magic can easily junction easily using Auto. Concludes the Magic Junction tutorial. I don't know how you have something like this short, this concise as a tutorial, and then simultaneously, like, this kind of... Like, what am I doing? Like, what are you doing when you're equipping it? And it's kind of important because conceptual understandings of things, like analogies, are how you get information to stick in someone's head. So having a conceptual analogy, like, for what's going on, is kind of important. Okay. I'm gonna do that. We're gonna turn the Gunblade auto thing into on. We have a second. I did not realize you could automatically set the Rent-A-Kaken like that. That is a new thing I'm learning about the game. And where was that? That was in stat. Oop, that's Quistis. There we go. Okay. In we go. Actually, one more thing. Alright. In we go. I think we can get it done in 10. I'm a little fiddly with the controls here, but I think we can get it done in 10. Wish this be chatty. Wish this be chatty. Enemy bats be batty. That's gonna pop the Ritsukaken. And it's not the perfect version of it. It's not the perfect hitter on it. And it seems like these bats are much easier to kill than the other things we were seeing on the thing. So if you're screaming at your screen, there you go. Oh, shoot. I forgot. I think we can get to the next screen. Why does it feel weird? Okay. Yeah. I figured there was a draw point somewhere. It's a little bit weird that, should be a square or something as in here as well as an enemy. Well, we're not going to check its weakness because Quistis just told us what its weakness was. We're not doing that. That is a lot of damage. I want to know exactly what this bomb blows up on us for. I know it blows up, but like how much damage does it do when it does that? Fire is not blowing up, sir. Should be low enough on HP that it should trigger that part of its AI. Yeah, just did not do that. Really want to get caught here for too long. Okay, what we really should have done, though, and what I should have done before walking up to those guys, but we're going to do now, is junction. Oh no, can she only junction to her spirit stat? That's not great. It's not nothing, but it's not great. Does Squall have the ability to junction something to anything other than... That's also not great. Magic. And so we just raised our stats by a decent chunk. Another fight here. I don't know that I want to run away from fights in this. Oh, it's just one of these. Okay, that's this is very, very beatable. It's just dead. So I guess, like, yeah, I was talking about how long it was taking to beat the enemies that are outside of this cave. Or to beat the enemies that were, like, around the area. But obviously, if you're literally supposed to just walk into the cave first. Because you end up in a weird spot. Like, these are actually the first enemies. The enemies outside the cave on the way to the cave are not the first enemies, really. Which is an awkward place to be in, but okay. You have 5 minutes to kill Ifrit. A little less, obviously. Alright. So. Strat's real easy. Ice him. So functionally, what's going to happen is 2 Blizzard spells and the amount of time it takes for Shiva to be cast once means Shiva would need to do more than 2x damage in order to catch up to what the other stuff that's happening here. But I have a feeling Shiva's not going to do what we're getting out of the Blizzard spell, 120. Shiva's not going to do like 300 damage. I have a feeling she's going to do like around 200. But we're going to see in a second. Maybe I'm just wrong. Yeah. Yeah, Shiva does not do enough damage to actually make up for the fact... Yeah, I don't care about this. Wait, was that it? No, there's a little bit more. This is great boss music, by the way. I shit on FF8 for a lot, but the music is not one of the things I shit on FF8 for. This music is really good. So Shiva's almost downed here. So I don't want to cast it again, really. Oh, I also need to keep in mind, I think I need to actually... I think I also need to have enough time to leave the cavern. If I remember right, a minute is long enough. If I'm careful about it. I probably don't want to cast Shiva again after this. Just because... Yeah. Didn't receive XP, 3G returners, and an Ifrit card, 20 AP. He got it. And... Wait. Do we not have time? Is she eating my time with this? Or... Oh, that's really bad. So... Regardless of whether or not we're actually eating time with this, if the perception is that we're eating time with this, I'm going to want to skip through it. Because I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I only have 2 minutes left on the clock. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Right? And this is a forced tutorial in this spot. So, like, I'm skipping through it. I don't think it's actually true that we don't have any time. Like, I don't think it's actually true that we have to rush to the exit in, like, in FF7. Oh, shit, we have to, like, get to the end of the reactor. We have to get out of the reactor away. But this is not a good saying we don't have much time is not a good thing to say just before handing someone a force tutorial. I'm, like, talking over this because it's boring as fuck and we can't really take advantage of much of it either. It would have been really helpful to have this just before this fight. Because I could have just junctioned Blizzard to my attack and then gotten more damage out of the attack. Again, though, like, this... The other thing about this is this completely negates... Well, not completely. But, like, what would you rather do, like, resource-wise? Cast the Blizzard spell? Or... Hope that didn't... Hope we're fine for time. Okay. Also, it'd be kind of cool if there was something in that pit for you to pick up or something like that. But alas. Seems not to be a thing. So yeah, we picked up 40 Blizzard spells. We didn't need anywhere near 40 Blizzard spells to do this thing. But here we are. $552 damage. Yeah. I know the bombs take more damage than, like, usual, or than they should, or whatever. But still, jeez. Jeez, guys. And, like, proponents of FF8 will say, like, yeah, well, it's good that you're engaging with the game systems. That's actually a good thing, right? And I think the game plays much better when you're engaging with its systems than when you're not engaging with its systems and you're playing it the way you would play a normal Final Fantasy game. I think that is true. I think the place you end up is not great. Like, I'm running, so the normal way is that you play the game like normally. I don't know that I would have been able to get out of here in 2 minutes. You play the game like the normal way that you would play a Final Fantasy game. Plus you have draw. So you draw a bunch of magic so you could stock up on that from the enemies that you run into. But then there's, like, obviously there's, like, the way I kind of just completely overwhelmed any drawing I was doing. Right? Like, I drew some spells just because, like, that's the thing you do. Like, oh yeah, I like, we're drawing spells, it's FF8. You know, when in Rome, you're supposed to do what the Romans do. But, then right after that, I just, like, went, okay, well, I learned the refine abilities, so I'm gonna use that, and now I don't have to draw magic from any GFs anymore, because I can just use the things I've picked up. Like, I haven't even fought... So, since then, just going to the cavern and then coming out... Oh, shoot, I forgot to equip Ifrit. Hang on. Let's do that. Actually, there's a pretty good reason to do that. Junction Squall with the GF Ifrit, who gives us a strength junction, and then junction magic to the strength stat. Oops. Can I unjunction water, and then junction strength? Yeah, that increases my strength to 38. which is, I think it's almost double. Again, we got that for almost free, right? Like, just 3 or 4 battles with the fish which are, keeping in mind, the only place to pick up blizzard spells on this island. So you, like, I can't imagine you're not supposed to fight the, like, it's a secret that they're there. It's like, no, they have like the blizzard spell that you're going to use when you go into the fire cavern. Like, of course. So now, like, that is a crazy amount of damage to get for free. We were doing 48. Squall is doing plus, like, Squall's doing like 500% or something like that, right? I guess 48 is not fair because he's got Renzokaken on that, so he's got, it's 4x, right? Maybe a little less sometimes. Less when he doesn't pull the trigger on the Renzokaken, but when he's pulling the trigger on the Renzokaken, that is like nearly 250 damage. Quest is going to leave. Yeah, so this would be where you would learn this thing in the GF to... it's even, like... The level 5. But yeah, Quest is going to go over... leveling your GF in the GF tutorial and teaching them skills and stuff like that in here. So, it is possible that, like, I should have waited till here to talk about learning to, like, actually go into the thing and learn GF abilities. But we've already, like, why is draw in the game? We've already, like, completely blown past it. And I mean, like, draw from enemies, not draw from points. Draw from points is a good idea. It's kind of a weird replacement for, like, treasure chests. But it's fine, right? But yeah, the problem really just is, like... Well, we're gonna get to the really dumb stuff in a minute. Just teaching you how AP works. Again, there wasn't an option to opt out. I think in FF7, there's one tutorial that's like this, and it's the materia tutorial, and you have the option of saying, like, I'll talk to you about it later, or, like, I don't have time to teach you, or something like that. So that you don't have to, you don't have to do that. But here, there's like 3, and they're all forced, because this is a complicated system, and it's new to people who would be playing JRPGs. So I understand why they did it. I don't know that it was a good idea to do it. In FF6, I'm pretty sure the Esper tutorial was, like, optional. And I think, like, just in general, like, the idea of a beginner's hall, it as a place to learn all of these abilities and stuff like that, and get, like, a little bit of character from the weird characters that are in there. But the idea of a beginner's hall has been there since, I don't know. I know 7 had one. I know 6 had one. I'm pretty sure 5 had one. I know 4 had something Beginner's Hall E in it. Right? Can we... Ugh. Do I just walk through? Okay, cool. Alright. And I think that for FF games, generally, they're simple enough that you only need the Beginner's Hall thing. And then if someone just blows past it, whatever, they'll figure it out as the game goes on. Or they'll come back to Beginner's Hall when they find out that that's there, or something like that. FF7 has 2 Beginner's Hall. It has, like, an ace, like, the one at the start of, in the like underneath the hotel or whatever it is, and it has the other one. In Junin. So you can split it up if you really feel like you need to do that. But like even then, you had like there's reasons to go to those places, right? You want to get the items that are at in the beginner's hall. Am I supposed to go back to the class or no? She said something of what I was supposed to do, and I was talking like a doof instead of paying attention to what I'm actually supposed to do in that situation. I don't remember where I'm supposed to go. Who are you? Early appearance of Nida? Nope. Oh, this is where you get the cards. I don't know much about it. You want to play someone? Not everyone is a card player. I don't play, so don't bother challenging me. And he gives us cards. Okay, so that is good that we came up here, I guess. So if we ever pick something up that just randomly has card match refine, we can turn the cards that we have into, randomly turn the cards that we have into relevant items. Can't for the life of me. Oh, I bet it's like go back to the dorms. I think is probably what it is. I don't remember. If I toured with Selfie, I'd know where everything is. Infirmary isn't it. Quad is a dorm, right? Or is it? I don't remember. Cafeteria. Trying to reacquaint myself with Baumgarten here. No, quad and dorms are separate. Right, quad is like the place where you have the events and shit. The dorm is the sleeping quarters. What else is weird about this? There's like 2 rooms here, right? Whose is this? Like one is Squall's and one is not Squall's, right? No identifier. There's not even an issue of weapons thing monthly, right? Not even in the drawer? It changed. CD uniform. No issue of weapons thing monthly? I forget what it's called. Maybe it's just called weapons monthly, actually. Okay. Out we go then, I guess. Cedar uniform. Will be with Zeldinch. Oh, right. Zel does his... So it's just, like, snap tutorial again. Right? Like, again, tutorial for a thing that other FF games would never have tutorialized, right? Like, FF7 doesn't tutorialize anyone's limit break, actually, I don't think. And yeah, like, Cloud is straightforward, but Tifa is like, oh no, they'll get it, right? Like... Oh, here's another thing FF8 does really well. This thing of, like, having text boxes appear on the screen in different places and overlapping each other and, like, doing different things with the text boxes for effect is largely a thing that just seems to have started here in FF8. It's a really good idea. It's also a thing that I don't know happens that often in like the kind of indie RPG space, just because like text is such a pain in the arse in general. Headmaster Sid shows up. Been a while, everyone. How's everyone doing? Explains the thing. Real battlefield. Obviously, the battles are for real. And he gives an impactful speech, or tries to give an impactful speech. And I think he gets pulled away from this one. But he also doesn't have the presence to actually carry a speech like that. He has the presence of like Robin Williams. It's like a different kind of vibe. It's definitely not the vibe of a general, which is what he's trying to give off here. It just kind of doesn't work very well. Whoa. We've yet to have a gunblade specialist. Let's remove it. Okay. Or so there's a general, like, kind of general rules you follow when you're doing, now that the mission started, right? Which is, like, don't screw around, follow the orders you're given, and be direct whenever possible. Which is still don't screw around, kind of, right? Those are general principles getting good seed rank on this mission. Right. This is another thing that, like, didn't really show up in other FF games, is the idea of having, like, because the next one was 9, and that definitely didn't have it in it. That's Bound Garden, right? Yeah, that's the acceleration. Okay. We are just driving into the town. Gas station. I need to keep in mind that drop point is there for drawing purposes. Oh, right, yeah, the vehicles. So, the vehicle thing, there's a buggy in FF7, and then FF8 has all these, like, cool cars that you can rent from different places here that kind of replace chocobos to some extent, at least in this early game. And then And then FF9 just goes back to having chocobos. There aren't any, like, ground vehicles other than chocobos and airships. And then FF10 does away with any kind of world map altogether, and it never comes back. Oh, that's not true. Well, the world map never comes back, but the world map never comes back. But you get the car again in FF15. Check to make sure I'm recording still. Yep. Questions, thoughts, questions. Huh? Nope. Again, follow orders is one of the things, right? Cypher's a dick, but he outranks. I wonder if Squalid won that duel at the start of the thing against Cypher, would he have gotten the leadership position in this seed exam prelim? This cutscene is fucking cool. There's a strong argument that this is how the game should have started. Like, if FF8 started like this... I think this is kind of like... I think it's kind of how Type 0 starts. Oops. I got confused about where the screen transit... Oh, no. Okay. So we had moved around our GFs and wrong screen for that. So, oh no, does Quistis still have Shiva? We have made mistakes. Okay. Items, but not that many. Okay, we'll just be as straightforward as possible. It's not a huge deal. It's not that hard. And Squall is really, really powerful right now. But Squall is the only one who has access to the commands that are kind of reasonable here. Drop them all. Yeah, I guess if you go to the Fire Cavern and then leave and then go do this immediately, there's kind of no... Like, the enemies actually do die in one hit. Right? And you do get a reasonable, like, progression. It's just if you run into enemies outside of this... That's not what you would have. Hmm. Okay. That... Liberation of Delay. Or invasion, I guess. Don't leave me hanging now! I love the aesthetic of FF8 as this, like, it's kind of the same thing as the aesthetic of FF7 in a way, but it's a little bit, I don't know, like, it's very, like, '20s, '30s, I guess. Is it here? Yeah. Like, with the way that the architecture is and the houses are designed. Alright, victory music comes in. So we've cleared the area. Ocean here. Right. No, it is. It is exactly correct. Yes, actually. Yes, it is. Actually. You are dogs of war, they are training you. The framing here is good. It's not an ordinary battle. It's an exam, an important one. I'm telling you, you have to stick to orders. Don't take him seriously. Squad captain. You have to listen to his orders. There's one enemy in particular I am very worried about. And that's the Anacondor that's going to be on the path somewhere. I should probably heal up Squall when I can. In a second. When it comes to the now we're back to 6. When it comes to the like getting the power boost that I would get and like being kind of OP relatively soon, I don't think I can do much with that until I get Siren from beating a Levere, which is at the top of the tower here. But even so, 250 damage is a lot more than, like... It's 4x whatever's normal, right? So... He gets dragged off the Anacondor. And we're fighting this thing. Struck first. I don't know that that's even true. We all still get XP for this. Maybe. Yeah, I was worried about nothing. This enemy is not that strong. But yeah, we're not casting magic because it's not really useful to cast magic. We're not... Actually, just for funsies, just to, like, limit test a little bit. Let's have Squall cast magic. He has, I think he has a spell junction to his... Junction to one of his stats. Junction to his magic stat, I mean. So he should have more magic than normal. Okay, 260 isn't bad. It is slightly more than the amount of damage that you would take from a normal attack. But it's not enough more that I care, right? What I'm gonna cast ice instead of making a physical attack for like 10 HP damage? No thanks. Although Although we can do this. Yeah, let's get 50 thunder spells. And I can go over to Quistis here and unjunction to GF from Quistis. Now can I do it? Okay. So let's do that. GF, put it back. Now, sorry, I am doing this on keyboard, and I am very much not used to it. Magic, GF, item. Do we have another thing on ability? That's this is lit up. Is there anything over there? No. Okay. And I guess I can exchange your water spells with Zell to the tune of all of them. Because we're not going to see Quistis again on our team for the entire rest of the sequence, right? So we can just junction to Zell. And this captures another thing, is like, it's kind of a pain in the arse to junction like this. We can only junction it to the spirit stat. It's not great. Alright. More defense, I guess. It's not the worst. Alright, let's keep going. We picked up an Anaconda card there, just incidentally from just beating up a random Anaconda. I'm gonna face another one here. Nope. Just a soldier. Yep. Then just easy builds. That also means that we were leveling our other GF's AP and not Shiva's, so that wasn't great. Running. Boosters. Repairs? Who cares? For nothing. Elite military specialist. Demolitions expert. Hardened vet. We just beat up, I don't know, like a force 4 times our size worth of soldiers. He just jumps off the ledge. Having fallen off the other one. Galbadian Captain? Colonel? Oh, hang on. Should I have... Let's see what he's got. He's higher ranking. Maybe he has higher ranking magic on him. No. No, sorry, Bob. No, I don't know why I ever thought that. Because that's the only reason to draw magic, right? Is to pick up magic that you don't have yet. I think maybe a Levere might have double. Well, let's go it. No, I didn't forget. I just... Selfie's gonna be, not on it. Shouldn't the... I think the, should be a save point inside. Tower. Cypher chases them out. Don't know how he got to do that while... Oh no, maybe it's just these soldiers were on the ground floor and the captain's on the top. So he did. So yeah, Selfie's trying to... Oh. Selfie's trying to deliver the message, but we weren't here, and we also weren't at the previous place where the message was supposed to be delivered. But I think the message Selfie was trying to deliver was the retreat message. But because we had pushed, we had already won by the time... Like, because we'd pushed in, we'd already, like, taken the communication tower by the time the retreat was sounded. The retreat is happening for, like, a different reason, right? It's not happening for... It's happening for, It's not happening because there was any, like, losing happening. It was happening because... To put it a certain way, like, political reasons. Kind of. They're getting into, like, deep spoilers. This is not what I intended at all. I wish there was some flourish that, that made it so these guys looked different than Biggs and Wedge do up there. Although maybe it's more realistic and thus in line with the tone of what the game's doing to do it this way. It does feel a little weird that you have, like, two guys at the top that are doing this stuff. Shiva just got... Do I have to set that? I don't remember. Cell has Shiva equipped. Junction. Ability. No, it's automatic. The summon magic thing. Actually, let's go to Ifrit and just see what he's got rolled. When it comes to... There's an ability junction, there's a fire magic refined thing I'm not going to touch. Alright, we're gonna deal with this later. Okay. What? Okay, so again, like, the kind of HP that these bosses have is weird, right? So, Wedge and Biggs, I don't think have much health. That's fine. So trapezoidal tools. With crappy. So Wedge goes out and sees... Cypher should be up here already. And the rest of us should be... Wait, where's Cypher? Didn't he run ahead? Oh, no, he ran back out. So they finish repairing the communication tower, and then the Elevere shows up after. This cool friggin' transformation scene that's like way over the top for the communication tower being set up. It is significant, like extremely significant, that this communication tower is set up. But you as the player don't realize the significance of this when it happens. There's no way to know the significance of this when it happens. But this was the objective for the Galbadian soldiers, is to set up this communication tower. Oh. There's a you meddling kids feeling to this, which is weird given like how this started. You know, like this started with, okay, it's a real battlefield. Obviously the battles are real, right? Almost like an over-the-top way of talking about this. But we're in this like increasingly for kids situation where we like carve through a bunch of soldiers like they're nothing because we're elite soldier teenagers, special ops, seed members in training, but it keeps getting like progressively more Looney Tunes as time goes on. And Final Fantasy has always been like kind of that. And honestly, this doesn't bother me except in retrospect. This doesn't bother me except as like on a second playthrough, where after seeing other things from this group, where you kind of, you know, you have a better sense of what this is doing. I should, well, what do you got, actually? Asuna. Okay, that's not that good. Oh, it's useful, but it's nothing special. Okay, so once one of their health gets low, Elevere blows them away. Again, very Looney Tunes. Like, those guys would have been dead in any other situation. It would not have been played off for, like, comedy. It would have been played off for horror, because this thing is kind of horrifying looking. I guess the big chin is a little bit weird. Continue the fight. Oh, right. I have to draw from this. That's Zell, so I don't care about that. But I think Squall has draw. Yeah, okay. You should. And that's why. An achievement. Wait, okay, I drew the thing. So Zell has a GF on him, and I'm not gonna use it. Just takes up too much friggin' time, and too much energy and shit. And Elevere is just getting attacked down. I don't think Thunder does much damage, because this is a wind element thing. I think this should be Arrow. Something like that. We draw from you. Oh, it's Thunder. Care that. What I do care about, I'll make this attack, and I'll have Zell use Potion on Selfie, keep her alive. So up to now, we're mostly playing this like a normal Final Fantasy game, although, like, I'm not really casting magic for any real reason. I don't even want to do that right now. Oh shit, that's why I didn't want to do it. So that means that Zell still fires this off, and then if Zell gets hit with an attack, we're gonna lose the game. Cool. Cool, cool. Selfie doesn't have it. So we have to heal before Storm Breath comes in. Just cutting it a little tight. Yeah. So Squall's back in a decent position. Zell heals up, and we're good. If we ever get back into a spot that kind of looks like, oh shit, is Storm Breath? I think Zell survives this, but it's a little dicey. Now we can duel. That's not very impressive. I would like Zell to cast Potion on Squall, please, and Squall to just make this attack. But yeah, okay, so there was a thing I was going to say before, which is that Elevere has more HP than it feels like Elevere should, by a lot. And as I think this is like the second boss, or third, I guess if you count Biggs and Wedge, of the game, Elevere has a lot of health for no reason, right? Like, if we did this much damage to any enemy in like a different FF game, no. Oh, crap. God damn it. You can get Squall back up, but this is, like, kind of annoying. So the game is balanced for you to do things kind of like this, I guess, at this point. Except it's also kind of not, because you weren't in any danger of, like, even taking any kind of significant damage from anything previous to this is annoying. Squall is downed again. Like, there's a bunch of stuff I would normally have done here in order to, like, not have control problems like this. No. Damn it. There are all kind of problems that I'm having. Oh, I didn't mean to. Well, whatever. I could have killed this at any point then if I was paying attention to how much HP it had left. But I didn't know, really. Oh well, poor Selfie. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. She's not getting XP for this fight anyway. Ah ha ha. And she doesn't have any, like, GFs equipped. Right? So she wasn't... Like, no one's getting XP for this fight. So we're all on equal footing here. So weapon monthly thing, 14 thing, and we get our siren. And Selfie finally delivers the message, which was to retreat. In order to withdraw takes priority. It's the vessel. You have 30 minutes. Does the clock start running now? Or does it start running when we get to the bottom? Okay, so first up, we need to get Selfie back up. And we can use a potion on Selfie. And then there's a couple of elixirs we're not going to use. I kind of need to know what the run button is. I'm going to junction Siren to Selfie here, which gives you magic, and Siren just damage, water damage, and like silence, right? Okay, so magic item, I guess you can have draw. It matters. And there's something important about Siren we're going to look at in a bit. So he calls the thing, doing this super Saturday morning cartoon. All right. Not Biggs over here. Get the ability. Now we're going to save. You're beating pretty much the only hard boss on disc 1. Not even out of the tower yet, and I'm like already running into tons of these fights. There's a thing I gotta practice. Having not played this game for a very long time and... Wait, what? Hang on. What? Oh, it just hung on... Okay. How do I... Is it this? It'll be very bad for me in a minute if I can't remember how to run from fights. Item is chosen, GF stuff, raw, limit break, D and F to escape. Okay. You figured it out. There we go. And here it comes. Let's run for the first one. Okay. Oh, right. We're supposed to beat it up to the point where it kind of breaks down, and then we're supposed to run from it. I don't remember how much damage we have to deal to it in order to get it to break down like that, though. Crush. The other part of this is, ideally I'd have Thunder Magic to help out with this on both Squall and Selfie, but I didn't draw that. I remember this being really powerful. It's not that powerful. She's gonna fire that off on somebody. Oh, full cure is all of us. Nice. Pesto. That took... Yeah, you have to break that down until you're able to escape from it. That's the only time you have to fight that one. Self-repair, bruh. I can't remember if you're supposed to run back the other way or something first, so this doesn't happen. There's a bunch of counterintuitive things you're supposed to do so that this doesn't happen, And I just don't remember what they are right now. I wonder if, as a machine, it has a water weakness in addition to the normal weakness it would have. This thunder. In fact, I don't really care about. If you were to cast this, does it do more damage than what we were looking at before, or is it just shit? Okay, it's a little bit more. That's what I should probably be doing here. Ray Bomb again. So when we ran into this fight again, we ran into this fight at 22 minutes. It's 21 minutes now. Yeah. So that's the other thing about having your characters like this is... Oops. It can sometimes not be clear. And that thing put itself back together quick. Right, you're supposed to walk so that... Yeah, again, there's a bunch of counterintuitive stuff that you're supposed to do in order to not get caught by this thing. Ugh. But yeah, your characters tend to blend together when they all have the same abilities, and if you they all have the same abilities, not capabilities. Those capabilities would be like they can all cast spells to the same degree. Abilities is like they can all cast spells with the same potency, or they can all cast spells with the same damage output. Abilities is like they can cast the same. They all have this. They all can cast the same spells. But when they all have the same abilities, like it's hard to remember who has what capability. Or it can be hard to remember. Of course, we ran that a little too long. Wasted another couple minutes on that. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to just I'm going to run into all of these and then remember at some point, like later, oh yeah, right, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to walk in that situation, and I just couldn't remember that. Right. If you do this, and he'll jump over, so you run back the other way. Then you run this way. Oh, fuck. I ran too slow. Because what happens is he jumps back the other way, and then you have to stop and then run back the other way. So you can't run too fast in either direction when you're doing that. So in that case, I remembered, but I didn't execute well. So this is the draw command doing a good job of doing what it's supposed to do here. Oh, I cast fire, but it didn't matter, really. There's not that much damage there. Hmm. It is possible to, like... KO that thing immediately. It just immediately got back up again. I don't... Fuck me. Yeah, the angle I showed up at there was not where I needed to show up in order to not get caught by that. And now, is Selfie dead? Not quite. Oh, but he gets a turn before I get to do anything. That's... kind of fine. Realized Squall was that low. We're gonna make it out. I just keep messing up. The Ray Bomb does damage, but not that much. So it's up to whether he does something after that to Squall specifically after that. So that end... Selfie needs to draw a Cure Spell and cast it on Squall. Oh. Friends are taken here. I don't think I need to do that. So some damage. Back out of the danger zone. Was that a heal for 40? Am I nuts? Why did that happen? Not enough? No. I think... Come on. Am I off screen at least? Okay. I think I was supposed to, like, dive into a building and, like, rescue someone or something, and that's the thing that people were, like... These guys, like, stopped to look back at when that happened, and I just didn't do. It was someone in the Nautilus or something like that. There's also, like, a side quest payoff for doing that I'm not gonna get now that I did that. Or didn't do the thing I was supposed to do in that situation. I know what I'm missing. Nice. Nice. Absolutely annihilated it. And we're off on this boat. These boats look really cool. Like... Cypher's all left. Okay. We didn't have time to screw around with this. Car's gone because Cypher took it, so we have to walk. That's okay, though. There's a draw point right here, the entrance. And there's another thing, too. So, Self is going to draw the Thunder Spell. If we drew the Thunder Spell before, we'd have a better time against that other thing, but that's okay. That's life. GF. That's not the screen I want. Ability? Oh, he doesn't have it yet. Okay, GF. So Siren has... What's this? Life Recovery Magic Refinery from an item. Status Recovery Medicine from an item. And Tools from an item. Which kind of completes the circle, right? So if you can... So it lets you refine a bunch of... So she's, like, got the support stuff going on. We're gonna just do this. And then... Who has... So Shiva has Spirit plus 20%. She has Strength Junction. And then you have some Mag plus 20% and Mag plus 20%. There's like an HP Junction thing here. Oh, here we go. Mid-Mag Refine. Okay. So this lets you get mid-level magic from other magic, which is kind of insane, right? And I think that's the next part of what's going on here, is like, okay, so if I knew that I could get, like, one kind from a thing, then we're gonna end up with, well, we'll see shortly. The other thing we're gonna do here is we're just gonna go to the shop, and we've been using items, right? So we're gonna buy some items. We've been using potions the way that you would in a normal Final Fantasy game, playing it like normal Final Fantasy ways. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna grab that. We're gonna grab some items from the shop. We haven't been using tents, so we're not gonna buy any of those. But just come on, man. I didn't want to talk to you. I wanted to look at the store. Okay, so all we're gonna do with this is we're gonna buy some high potions, right? Not that many. We're just gonna buy 4 high potions, and we're gonna load up a little bit on potions. This is a Final Fantasy game, right? And we haven't seen any status effects, so we're gonna leave that alone for now. There's different kinds of ammo. We don't need those, and there's different kinds. There's like a G potion, a G returner. We picked up some G returners when we beat some of these bosses. We'll pick up a couple of G potions just in case it feels like we need it. But other than that, I don't see a reason to buy anything else other than maybe a Phoenix Down just in case. And we're gonna get out of that. And then I'm gonna leave it. I happen to know that like the person standing there across, like at the entrance to that thing is the Queen of Cards second shop. Really? I don't remember this being here. Are you actually a shop owner, or are you the rental car service? Aha. Forget it. Can't afford it. So obviously the junctioning, as it's supposed to, like, blows way past the level scaling. But again, like, the spike was so high to go from nothing to, like, where we are. Okay. So beat these up, get our 2 AP from it. So when I started this, I said it was going to be really spiky. Like, there's going to be some spots where nothing is happening, and there's going to be this random encounter rate is absurdly high. There's going to be some spots where nothing is happening, and then there's going to be it's going to pick up very quickly, right? And the first spike was junctioning 100 waters to strength, but we're limited by how many GFs have strength, right? So that's kind of fine. The second spike is going to be when I pick up this next set of abilities. So Zell and Selfie run out of there. Yes. Just normal FF8, normal FF8, normal FF8. So what I'm going to do is, what's my clock? 2:46. At about the 3-hour mark, probably just after this next sequence, I'm going to call that a video. I guess it wouldn't be 3 hours for the video, it would be like 2 hours 15 minutes for the video, I guess. But I'm gonna call that a video. I'm gonna call that like a break point. I'm only going to be playing for the first, like, 6 hours of this game. Anyways. Which might actually cover all of Disc 1. Words and Dukedom. The creator draws as long as communication tower and the uplink remains operational. Okay, the save point should be right there. Come on. Come on! Like, you can see the save point, but you can't actually save there because it breaks into a cutscene in that spot. And there isn't a save point, like, upstairs from here, so I kind of just have to sit. I can't remember if I'm supposed to go back to the classroom or to the dorm. I think it's the classroom, right? No, it's not the classroom. The classroom's where we get the results after. So first I have to go to the dorm. I wonder if it didn't want you saving there for some reason. It wanted you to do something else first. It is really annoying, though. Yeah, it wants you to do this before you've saved the game. Well... I want you all to be able to think for act for yourselves. And then this guy comes in and is like, Headmaster Sid, you have to go do something else. You're not a non-profit organization. This isn't will be a hard-learned lesson for the Dalek Dukedom. They'll know to be more generous when hiring seat. Damn. Second floor hallway. Right, okay. Now I go to the second floor hallway. And now I can use the save point. V save slot 1. Okay. But part of this is like draw as thing you use to stock magic for junctioning and later stuff is completely dead as a thing. That's the big thing that's happened in this first like 3 hours of the game is the draw command draw stock, which is the normal way that you would play FF8, because the idea is that you draw stock so you do this, is completely useless. Because you only have one spot to, like, store... You're going to have more spots later to store magic, but by the time you get those... by the time you get those... Talk to you? Come on, man. Okay. You're just not interactable. By the time you get more spots to put stuff... Do I have to speak to Raijin? Is that what's going on? Okay. By the time you get those, you're gonna have way more of these stones and way more of these just random pickups from enemies and way more healing items and just stuff that you've picked up that you can convert into magic. So draw as a way to get magic is completely removed from the game. Street and that right now. For speed, he was sent all over the world. Proud to introduce. This is a weird thing to. Okay. And he gets rambly, and the headmaster's like, No, the headmaster, the faculty garden thing is like, no, you just keep it moving. That's cute. That run, man. Yeah. Just Selfie shows up late. Like, literally just transfers in, takes the exam, graduates immediately. Done. In. And to Cypher's credit, he's the first to congratulate them. So you drink 6. You get paid. Okay, so I'm going to save the game. And yeah, we've completely broken the game in the sense that not the entire system of draw, because there's a couple of other reasons why you would draw. But the game, one of the things the game mostly wants you to do is draw magic and then store it. And because we have these refine abilities, we no longer will ever need to draw lightning magic or wind magic, because we'll have items that we can just translate that into, and we'll no longer need to do it for water or ice magic. Ifrit will get the fire one eventually, and then Siren will give us the life one, and then we can get curative magic that way. Right? But then also, if I go to ability for a minute here, no, ability isn't the one. GF. We go to this one for a minute here, and we go to... This is just the GF they gave you at the start of the game. And then mid-mag refine lets you refine mid-level magic from other magic. So you can go from Thunder to Thundara, Fire to Fira, although we don't have any of those yet, really. And then Ice to... or Blizzard to Blizzara, and Cure to Cura, which is important because then you can junction at a higher thing than normal. So to fuel this, we have all of this. So when we get the Life Mag Refine, as you're going to see in a second, we can transfer all of these items that we're not going to be using very much of at all into that second level magic and elixirs and whatever, and then do something with that. And then do stuff with that. So again, right now, maybe not a big deal. But right now, maybe not a big deal that we're using this. But and maybe we use this stuff up, some of this stuff up. The normal potions definitely, because our HP totals is not that low. But the other thing to notice is the enemies haven't really increased the amount of damage that they're able to deal to us by that much, in the same way that we haven't increased our HP by that much, right? We're still level 11, 659 health, right? We haven't actually junctioned anything to our HP, so we haven't started in on that system yet. But we're already in a spot where, like, before we've done anything, it's still kind of maintained that pace of, like, these enemies aren't really that dangerous. They're not doing that much damage to us, and we're not doing, like, if we don't have stuff junction to us, we're not doing that much damage to them, although the battles are still pretty easy. So, in a bit, that's going to change pretty drastically. And I'm going to show that off in part 2. Right now, though, I'm going to end this video, and we'll see it in the next part.